agree that the cover for my book, Fucked Up Fairy Tales, is fabulous. Let me share the process of the cover design, because original pitches were very different than what we ended up with. My cover designer is the wonderful Sarah Mae Wilkinson at W.W. Norton. To start, my editor Tom Mayer and I pitched some directions that the cover design might go in. The major idea we wanted to convey with the cover was a subversion of our ideas about fairy tales. So initially, Sarah Mae came at this idea in two different directions. One pitch she had was that the book look a lot like a classic, sort of vintage collection of fairy tales with a gold foil version of one of my sister's illustrations on the front, and that the main subversion on this cover would simply be the title, Fucked Up Fairy Tales. She sent in some early samples of this, including this version where the foil would have been holographic, or simple subversion of the classic fairy tale design. The illustration she picked out is my sister's interpretation of Donkey Skin, which, as you can see, has a bit of an Andrew Lang fairy tale books feel. The other direction Sarah Mae pitched was styling the cover more like a meme, with a modern meme-ish font stamped over a classic fairy tale illustration. She pitched a Snow White version and a Jack Frost version. This second idea was the one I responded to more, but we decided to go back to the drawing board after we figured out that the subversion of the fairy tale cover needed to be a little more like a shitpost, or even more like my TikToks. I sent her some of my visuals for inspiration. Maybe she could try something more DIY, or maybe we play off this idea of the face filter I use a lot in my fairy tales. I also sent Sarah Mae a cover I kept coming back to when I imagined what the book would look like, a really fun children's book by John Sheska called Battle Bunny, which, as you can see, has a sort of sweet Garth Williams type of illustration on the cover, but it also looks like a second grader has destroyed the book and made it more up his alley. This is how Sarah Mae got to the main look of the final cover. She found a very cute line illustration of Cinderella and began to imagine how I might rework it for a fucked up fairy tale. In one version, she put actual googly eyes on it, which was incredible, and I highly recommend you actually put googly eyes on the book's cover when you get it, and send me a picture and tag me. Ultimately, I liked the drawn-over version because that felt a little more like punk rock to me, more like I had this impulsive need to, scratch out on the cover. She had lots of different ideas for the color scheme, which we narrowed down, and ultimately ended up with the beautiful, springy confection you see before you. I loved going through this process of the cover design with my publisher. I don't know how often authors get this much input in how a cover turns out, so I really appreciated being an equal in this part of the process. The book is beautiful and funny, and I think the design offers good opportunities if there were to be a follow-up book or two, which will only happen if the book sells well, so please pre-order it. Please spread the word. Ask your library to order it. Give it away for Christmas presents to anyone you'd like. Bug your local book carrier to stock it. And I want you and your friends to have my book. Thanks for watching. I'll see you with more behind-the-scenes info about my book coming soon.